Uh,
Okay. Welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time on a Sunday. This session will be to introduce TradingView to all to people who do not know about it. Um, of late, we have seen that many brokers are integrating TradingView. For example, Fires is already using it, and most of you would have seen certain features of TradingView already. But nevertheless, I'll try to cover it to an extent that I use quite frequently, my favorite tools, and so on. And just to navigate through TradingView as a website. Let's say in the morning you start off with some analysis, how you can structure that. So that level of detail I'll give. Once you are through this session, you will be able to easily navigate through TradingView. You will be able to find out your own favorite tools, your favorite combinations, and so on. And later we will come to some important aspects like multi-time frame, what it is, and then we will talk about Pine script a bit, and we will do a live example of how to combine different views. So I've used RSI. It is one of my favorite indicator. So I will use this and show you one trading strategy which it's a manual one. It is not automated. I just want to show you how you can use very simple concept to make money in the market. Okay, and then we will use a built-in strategy. I've I've used a built-in because you also have access to that code, so I need not share anything. And you can we will together look at the strategy results and try to make sense of what it means. Yeah, so and that is where we'll stop today. In further sessions we'll build on top of this. Okay. Okay. Uh, then uh, so let's start. What is TradingView? It is a cloud-based charting platform with flexible programming language. It is called PineScript, and it has a very large traders community. So of late, the adoption of TradingView has exploded. There are a whole lot of traders in stocks, futures, bonds, cryptocurrencies, currencies who have all started to use TradingView as a preferred platform. Okay, so we will start with the website shortly. What is the primary advantage of TradingView? From my view, it is due to the availability of open source scripts which are built by TradingView users. There are two ways to look at an indicator. One is to look at it in the chart and see, okay, it is going up, it is going down, it is forming higher high, it is forming divergence. And the other way is to go into depth of that indicator. What is its calculation? Yeah, what is its, only then you will realize what is its limitation, what is its advantage. Yeah. So my approach was to go into depth of indicators and understand what they are doing, and then see if they fit into my personality, my trading personality, my trading system. It has got a inbuilt backtest engine which is very fast, I can say. For a web-based, it is very fast, and it has got a trading engine also. So you can trade using TradingView. Broker integration currently is a challenge for India. We have to use certain ways. I will show you. Uh, but tightly integrated to broker, that is currently something which we do not have. Okay. Then it is a good platform to learn technical analysis and develop trading strategies. You can get some support from people, you can share ideas, you can gather inputs from other people. So it is a very good platform to dive into technical analysis. And uh, and then it is the free version itself is very feature rich. Yeah. You need not go for very advanced versions. So professional usage, for example, Premium Pro, Pro Plus. If you have a very specific use, you can go ahead. But whatever I've learned in TradingView, I have learned it in a free version. I have used premium version for some time and there was some offer, but I have never felt the need that you have to go to a premium version because I myself am not scalper. I am not even, I can even say that I'm not even an intraday trader. So for my personality, it was a free version which was enough. Yeah. If you want to explore, you can go purchase. You sometimes get offer during Black Friday, and you can make best use of it. Okay. So let's go to TradingView now and see what does the website look like. Okay, I will probably just 1 minute. Okay, so this is the landing page of TradingView, where you can right away look at the symbol and see what it is doing. Um, I would show you the standard. So this is, I think, some promotion, but otherwise this is the usually your landing page. Okay, so this landing page has some of the information available to do overall market research in the mornings or in the evenings. For example, if you look at this menu here, you can already see that it categorizes it into different markets. For example, cryptocurrencies, currencies, so forex, then stocks, indices, futures, bonds, yeah, and so on. So even for bonds, there is Asia level, Europe, and so on. So it has got a whole lot of information which you can already start to use. Then there are screeners, so you can use stock screener. If you're trading in forex, you can use a forex screener, crypto, stock heat map, crypto heat map. We'll go into what these are. Then there is a very big community where I have learned through some authors. I have made a list. You can also follow them. Then there are editor picks. So there is a big moderator community also in TradingView where they go through scripts and then the best ones they mark as editor picks. Then many people share ideas in their respective areas. For example, currencies, indices, futures, and if you click on one of them, for example, indices, you will see ideas being shared as a you know as a feed, and you can then choose to follow some of them, or if you have your own idea you can also post. One good thing I found about TradingView is that you cannot it is very a straightforward community. You can't, once you put an idea, once you put a script, you cannot delete it. It doesn't give you the access to delete. By that, it is bringing some kind of accountability. If I post an idea today that okay, market might go up or down, and then later I say, yeah, see, I've said it goes up. Can't do that because your idea is there. For the time TradingView is there, your idea is there. So at any time, anybody can go back and say, yeah, well, then you said like this. So it brings some kind of a maturity to the platform. Misuse is less and so on. Then there are many open source scripts. There are three types of scripts. So you have open source scripts, you have protected scripts, and you have private scripts. Usually protected scripts are you can subscribe to them and you can uh, you can pay some money and you can. Open source scripts are usually open to anybody's use. Just don't rename it and say that it is your script. There is some legal implications also. In the past, I shared some experiences with some people in this group. So just don't do that. Stick to community rules, and you will be okay. Okay. Then we will look at screeners and markets in the next slide, and then you can purchase. So as I said, Premium, Pro, Pro Plus. There are three. So now if you see, it is giving me an offer for 1 day. 1 month. It is saying $1. I you can use that option. So for me, why I say basic is enough is, if you see, there are some ads, which is okay. Then charts, I can use one chart per tab. If you look at fires, you can select as many charts as possible per tab, but I'm okay with one chart. For premium, you'll get 8. You can save layouts. Custom time interval is not allowed. Usually for higher time frames, daily, weekly, there is no custom. But for intraday, it is useful. So if you're intraday player, you can choose Pro or Pro Plus Premium. Then intraday, these type of charts, range chart, Renko, Kagi, these are not supported because it is very CPU intensive. Then bar replay is only allowed in in basic. It is only allowed on a day, week, and month. Bar replay is a very good feature to understand and build that view of the market. We will see that. Then otherwise, most of the features are available, and data, it goes back to 7 years on a daily chart. Quarterly 8 years. If you see 20 years, but 7 years is good enough for me. Anyway, the whole market regime changes, so I only go till this. It's fine. Then technical analysis, it is nearly the same. More than three indicators, you are doing it wrong. That is my belief. So basic again is okay. You don't get volume profile. If you are a volume profile trader, you don't get volume profile. You have to use Pro Plus. I'll show you a shortcut how to get it in free also. Then you can backtest. So backtesting is completely free in basic also. There is no limitation. Only data limitation is there. How many years back you can go, but otherwise backtesting is available for all. You can use inbuilt candlestick pattern recognition scripts without any issue. And time limit for calculation, this is 20 seconds. If you are writing very complex scripts, then this matters. Otherwise, 20 seconds is a very big time. It is, you can't beat this time. Um, Intraday probably, but otherwise for positional strategies, 20-second time is too big. Then alerts possible, you can have one alert in free version, whereas in Pro and Premium you can use 20. This is the feature which you use to integrate to your broker currently. So Fires or to Telegram, to Discord and all that, you can use alerts. So any alert which you create, it stays active for 2 months and then you have to reactivate. But if you are using the premium version, there is no deactivation. It server side alert is till end of time. Screener, currently the screener with auto refresh, it only in basic you have to refresh. It doesn't auto refresh. You can't export it to an Excel sheet or a CSV. Time frames are daily, yeah, and then otherwise everything is covered. Data, in the past we had to purchase data for NSE and yeah, for Indian markets, but now it has been made free. I used to pay for data pack in the past, but now NSE data is available for free. There might be, if you are using free version, the data will not sync every second or so. I think there is a slight delay, but it is negligible. It is not a major delay. Okay. Trading, you can use selected brokers. This is a limitation in India. You can do paper trading, of course. You can see market depth, which any platform provides. Watch list, you can build one watch list for free. You can use symbol coloring to distinguish between different types of stocks, swing trading, positional, yeah, trend following, and so on. Yeah, that's it. You don't get any support. If you write an email, nobody will respond. If it's a Pro Plus or priority premium, you get priority support. Okay. So just go through this and you will find the right version which you would want. Okay. Then market analysis tools. So when in the morning, if you want to form a bias, for example, we look at some of the blogs written. Sanjit ji writes a blog. We get an idea what's happening. then we will look at some news and so on. So in TradingView, by default, if you are in the home page, you are able to get that view automatically. So what I do is in the morning I look at the what has happened in the US market. Chinese market would have Japanese Chinese market would have already started. So usually I get see okay what has if the market US market is doing did okay yesterday and so on. So you can do this analysis. There is a default rating also provided. What is the current scenario of that market in daily time frame? You can use it or you cannot. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to use it, also fine. But it gives you a view. Then performance of all the markets. You can yeah, you can look at their historical performance. This is similar to what investing.com also gives. So this is a pre-made list and it lets you yeah, understand overall performance of the markets. Then there are some technical indicators also, their values. You can filter out indices. You can the ticker filter also is there, so you can only look at some markets. You need not look at everything. So people who are into too deep technical analysis, you can use this feature. And trend following, yeah, using some moving averages. If you want to find out what individual market is doing, you can use this. Yeah, so this is an inbuilt page. Of course, for US, as it is primarily a US website, there is quite a lot of US indices also. This is something which I do not see, but if you trade in US markets, you can have a look at it. Major world indices is good enough. Then heat map. So there is a feature. So what is our current Indian market doing? So for that, um, you can look at the heat map feature. So I've already selected the data set as Nifty 50 and grouping by sector and size is by market cap. So this is a performance of our market on the last trading day. Okay. So if you can do some adjustments. For example, you can go for a grid view where it shows according to sector, or you can go for a market cap view, and you can even not group them. These are just by their performance. You can even do this. So there are many options. So just by looking at this, it tells me that Friday was there were more declines than advances, and there was some neutral also. But major yeah, stock players, they were neutral and majority was underperforming. This is the view I can get, and then you can break it down into your own analysis. There is you can also use a volume. If you are a volume player, you can even do that. So there was heavy volume in Bharti when it went up. Otherwise, primer players, there was no volume. For example, I think Reliance, no volume and so on. So this is your personality. What is it that you would like to see? It gives you a feature, and based on that, you can adapt. So usually, market cap is good enough, and you can filter for yeah. There is quite a lot of settings. You can filter for market cap, employees, and so on. But this view is good enough. You get a view. The idea is not to spend 2 hours on this. The idea is to understand what happened in the last trading session. Then, for if you want to go into depth of what what scripts are available, you can go for this editor pick. These are the these are not your regular indicators which you see in your broker platform. For example, Zerodha or Fires. Yeah, these are very advanced scripts which require some level of understanding of PineScript. My suggestion is once you get good view of your TradingView Pine scripting capabilities, you can use them. I will give you one caution also in the next slides. Please consider that before you get into depth, because there is no bottom. Yeah, you can spend 2 years, 5 years, 10 years in this, and without realization, you will be there forever. If you are interested to follow, these were some of the people whom I used to follow, and I learned quite a lot from them. You can find them in TradingView community, and you can follow, or if you see them to be good, you can follow. Else you can find your own. But I have learned whatever I have learned from these guys. Okay, then let's jump into chart layout. So basically, when you have when you click on chart, it gives you a full featured chart like this. This is something which I use. So this is my indicator set and my, yeah, it's very basic, but this is what I use. But for today, I just made a very basic one so that we don't get confused. Let's see, where is that? Okay, so I've removed all the indicators which I use, and then I've just made a blank chart. Now here in this, on your left side, you will see some tools which are available. We'll go through the most useful tools, if not all, and we will go through. On your right side, you see one column. We will go through these. This also I find some of them interesting. If you are more of a community player, you want to participate in discussions, this toolbar is quite useful for you. If you are into your own trading, this is not much help. Okay, so on the top, as I said, because of fires and other broker integrations, most of you would know this already. Some of them are not enabled because uh, it becomes quite complex for the broker to introduce full all TradingView features, because and then they restrict it to some uh, basic ones which are absolutely necessary. But in TradingView, there is no such restriction. So uh, what you see here, let's say you have this toolbar here, you want to draw a trend line or any other tools, they are available here, and when you click on the star mark, it is added to your favorites. So my favorites, here in the bottom there is the star, show favorites drawing toolbars. This is my favorite drawing tool. Okay, so this is my bar. What does it have? It has some of the tools available on your left into this bar, which I frequently use. What do you have here? You can do some trend analysis. For example, you can draw a trend line, yeah, like this, maybe, whatever suits you. And then you can also measure the trend angle. What is the current trend angle? You can measure from a reference point. Only take care that when you move the chart or when you adjust on the scope, the angle changes. Angle is not a good way to measure it unless you are going for a fixed aspect ratio. Yeah. So just consider that. Then there are, yeah, you can draw horizontal line, as a vertical line, support, demand, and so on. One tool which I also use is this regression channel. So it is the best fit of data over the time series, and it shows you one standard deviation range. So at what is one standard deviation price from the mean? So this is one tool which I use. Then there are many GAN tools, GAN and Fib tools. So Fibonacci retracement, yeah, you can use Fib extension and see. I don't use it much, but there are many Fib tools and GAN tools up to your interest. So there is this GAN square also. I don't know if I'm using it right, but you can also do this and so on. Then there are tools related to cycles and time zones. So people who think that prices history repeats itself, you can use this, and you can draw time cycles. Then there are pitchforks. So this is also one common use tool. So pitchfork is usually yeah, it tells you the range of the market in a regression trend using some price patterns. Then you have yeah, if you want to annotate the chart, for example, draw support resistance, demand supply zones, and so on. Yeah, you can probably use this. I'm sure I'm not drawing it right, but the goal is not to draw it right, just to show you the tools. Then you can annotate your chart if you're publishing it. Okay, go long here, yeah, or go short here. You can use these annotations and make your chart readable. Then for people who are into Elliott waves and ABCD, Schiffer patterns and so on, you can use these tools to also annotate. Again, not something which I use, but you can use this to annotate cycles. Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying it right. Disclaimer. Okay. Then, yeah, these are some things which I use quite regularly. So, for example, let's say I want to take a long position. I want to see what is my risk reward ratio. Okay. So I find that the market has formed a base here and then there is a retrace. I can go long here. So let's say I plan to go long on the next candle open. And if I want to keep the recent low as stop loss, what is my risk reward ratio? I can calculate it like this. So currently, if I'm targeting a 1 is to 2 risk reward ratio, then this is my price target. If I'm targeting a 1 is to 4 risk reward ratio, then this is my price target. If I'm targeting a bigger. If I want to increase the stop loss to the reset, to the support, then my risk reward changes. So this is my 1 is to 2 now. Okay, so you are risking 1 rupee to earn 2 rupees. This is, we will cover this when we are making the trading strategy. Similarly, if you want to do a short, okay, you want to short here, for example, based on some concept, I don't know, just to give you an example. So if I have to mark short here and my risk reward ratio is 2, then this is how it will be. Okay. This is not a good place to short, but just to show you. Then trend channel I've shown. These price range and date range are usually used. For example, when you're selling options which are like AIC, which we do, right? You want to see, okay, what is my range? Let's say 180 range of 150. You want to see how many days you have got or what is the price cycle. Then you can say, okay, I have 20, 30, 35 days to expiry, and for the price to go to 16,600, it needs to cover 4%, and then it needs to cover it in 39 bars. Yeah, 39 trading days. So 730 points. I can do some measurements. Uh, yeah, then I've shown you regression, and you can always annotate your chart. So let's say my strategy. One good thing about this is I want to only see this in a particular time frame. I can do that by going to settings and remove everything where it should be shown, and it will only show in the daily time frame. When I go to weekly, it won't show. So sometimes what happens, how this is used is some trend lines you will draw in 15-minute time frame. Let's do that. Let's say I go to the 15-minute time frame and draw some trend lines. Okay. So this is, let's say, my trend line. Now I go to the daily time frame and then I am drawing some trend lines here. Let's say this is my trend line, and then this is range which, if broken, I will go long. Now if you go to 15-minute chart, those trend lines will start to, yeah, obstruct each other. So what I can do is I can go to the higher time frame and say, okay, this trend line I would only want to see in the daily time frame and not anywhere else. Or I can even define a range. So it will only show up in the daily. When I go to the 15, that trend line won't be shown. But I still want to see the range breakout. That will still be there. So this is more of a customization what you can do. This is more towards chart analysis, which can be used. Okay. So yeah, you can star mark as I said, and it appears here. You can toggle it on and off. Now to the watch list and panels. There are some inbuilt tools which are quite good. For example, in my watch list, you see this is my preference. I see USD INR, I see Indian market VIX, then Bank Nifty, I see Europe market, US futures, US volatility index. This is till here which I see. Then I see BTC, how much it is falling every day. Apart from that, I don't, and then crude oil. So this is my watch list. You can build your own watch list. For example, for all option, this is my list of all option stocks, right? Uh, One good feature about this is it is not just about building a watch list. You can also do some kind of analysis on this. Let's say option stocks I select. You see this advanced view here. When you click on it, it shows you kind of like a portfolio. So, 1 minute. Oh, what happened? Okay. Okay, so if I select, let's say Nifty 50 stocks, and this is my portfolio. Imagine that I have taken one share of everything. I can say portfolio, and this already does a portfolio analysis for your watch list, into which sector they fall and which industries they fall. You can go through some analysis here on a daily time frame for free, and you can also look at their financials also here. It is all inbuilt. And upcoming earnings, you can this list will be built as and when there is an earning announcement. It usually shows for the next 14 days, but if you want to plan early, you can go to some other website. Okay. Then alerts, we will talk about alerts when we are making this indicator. I'll show you what alerts mean. News, it gives you news about that particular symbol you are looking at. I found this to be okay for indices, but for individual stocks, this is not so useful. Then data window, this is used when you are when you are working with indicators. It is very useful feature to know because you know exactly what is the value of that indicator. Let's say here, it when I move the mouse, it shows me what's the value of RSI, right? When we make the indicator, maybe we'll also have a look at it. Then hot lists, this is good feature if you want to see who, in a market in Indian market, you want to see volume gainers, gap ups, gap up gainer, percentage gap gainers or percentage range gainers. You can configure it and then you get that list. Let's say you are an intraday player, you want to trade on gap and then yeah, continuation, you can use gap gainers. Or if you want to play positional and see what are top gainers and top losers, you can even do that. Right? So this is something which you can configure. Not many options. This is not something which you can change. This is a fixed list, but it shows you overall performance of the market. This is not limited to Nifty 50. This is for the entire market. Then calendar. This is for economic events. So I have shortlisted uh, for Indian market and US market, and I only want to look at high importance events and not everything. For example, there is today durable goods announcement. Indian market, I think there is an upcoming fiscal deficit number which will be released on 30th, external debt. So these are important. You can keep a tab. This you need not do every day. You just get an idea when to trade, when volatility will be high, and so on for you to plan. Then my ideas, have not submitted any ideas. Otherwise, your ideas come here. For people who are community traders who would like to discuss and trade, there is a inbuilt community public chat. You can go to any type, for example, stocks and indices, and people will be tagging that particular stock and they'll be putting your ideas. You can use it. It is good to learn and to interact with people. Then this is recent chats, so with whom I chat and then I interact and so on. These are idea stream. Okay, so for the person whom I'm following, whatever they put as idea, it comes here. I can also see some podcasts during trading notifications. So for the scripts which I write or whatever, when people are liking it, I get notified. Then it shows you if you're connecting to the broker, it shows you the order panel. And then it also shows you DOM. So this is the depth, market depth. Currently market is closed, so you don't see anything. Okay. If this is integrated to your broker, you can also buy and sell from here, like your broker platform. Okay, so this is the view. You can select a time frame which is comfortable to you. In free version, what I cannot do is I cannot go for a custom time frame like 10 minutes. It says you have to upgrade. But usually regular time frames, 15, half an hour, 1 hour, all these are okay. If you want to go for a custom time frame, you can buy a pro version. Then chart types, yeah, these are the chart types which are supported. You can also favorite them. They'll show up here. Let's say I want to use a baseline chart. I can favorite and it will show up here. So it's easier. Okay, so this is my baseline chart. Then here one good feature is to compare and add symbol. I can do plus minus. I can say Nifty minus Bank Nifty. I can just see the difference. Okay, and it just shows me the difference of the both. I can apply plus minus whatever. I can even do relative, or I can just add a symbol. For example, I sometimes say that it closely follows Dow futures in when we are in a trading session. So let's say I go to this and then I click on YM. Same percentage scale. Okay. So it shows me some kind of correlation to what our market is doing and what US market is doing. I use this sometimes. Then you have this FX. This is usually in your broker, it will be limited. You will not have so many options. You will only see built-in. What it doesn't show is my scripts. These are all the scripts which I have written for myself. Okay. This is not allowed on the broker platform. And you also cannot go to the public library and see, okay, which scripts are available publicly. This community integration is not there in the broker platform. You can only use built-ins, and I think chart patterns are also now introduced. I don't know, but I'm just taking a guess. So chart patterns is also something which is used quite a lot. Then if you do not have okay, financials, yeah. If you want to also look at financial data along with chart data, you can go for it. For example, I want to see P ratio and P ratio forward. Um, I can do this and then go to the stock, let's say Axis Bank, and then it shows me the P ratio also. I can say forward earnings ratio, for example, and it shows me what's the estimated P forward over a period of time. So it is not only price volume, you can also see financial data. There are quite a lot. Whatever I have chosen to be favorites is shown here. You can also go into depth and choose some of them as your favorites, but this is my list. Okay. Then you have some indicator templates which you can make. This feature is also there on your broker platform. Otherwise, there are default templates available which you can use. Let's say I'm into swing trading. Okay. So I select swing trading and then it brings in my own its own pre-built indicators, predefined, and then I can straight away follow it. If I'm a new guy into technical analysis, then this is what this is the place where I can start. Let's say I'm an oscillator guy, technical indicator guy, I can do this. Okay. Then alerts will go through. One other good feature of TradingView is replay. Okay. So you can select any period at the back and then you can use it to do bar replay. So either you can automate the speed, so it will go every 3 seconds, or you can increase the speed. If you are doing paper trading or you want to do manual backtesting, you can even go one candle at a time and then predict or implement your logic. You can even do that. Let's say I want to go along here. This is how I usually used to paper trade. So I see some range break and then I go long and then I do forward. Okay, so this is one way to do some level of manual testing. Then this is, yeah, just undo. You can save, I will not save it, but you can save your view so that when you open it again, it is retained. This is all cloud, so okay. Then chart properties, symbol, you can, there are some options which I like, so these are all default. One thing which is good is that it shows indicator value, indicator last value. These are usually which I use quite a lot. They're good. Watermark and background to not impact your eyes. You can go for a gradient. So solid, okay. Yeah. Then full screen, and you can even publish. So if you want to publish this idea, you can go to publish idea and then write some detail about it, and then you can post it, and this goes to the community. People will look at it, they'll like. You can even share it to Twitter. So yeah, it I need to authorize and then it goes to Twitter. So yeah, this one good feature if you are quite active in community. If you want to build a base, this is a good place. Okay, so yeah, I have listed down these in the PPT also. So once you have the PPT, you can go through them. What I've listed down are some things which I use. I've just also put my favorite toolbar. You can have a look at it. Then I just want to talk about technical analysis and indicators for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. I know that many people here in this group, there are many profitable traders. There are people who are entering into trading, and yeah, we are all learning and so on. So going through this detail will save you good time. This is what I have learned over time. I have discussed with people and I have learned over time. I just want to share. This is to set the context. You can accept this. You can say, okay, this doesn't make sense. That's fine, but this is my view. Okay. So the important aspects to consider in technical analysis is that there is no right or wrong approach. If there was one right approach in the market, then there won't be a market. Somebody, if you have to make money, somebody has to lose money. If you have to be right, somebody has to be wrong. Yeah, so in that case, don't go for something which is right. There is no right, there is no wrong. Even if you draw a trend line and if market just retraces and shoots up, it is market. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it needs to respect your trend line always, for example. And usually the simplest things work in trading. don't go for extremely complicated indicators, Fourier transforms, Gaussian filters. All those probably give you a better view, but just a moving average with some common sense, risk management rules, you can still make money. After spending many years in this, this is my realization. Then the most important asset we have with us is our brain. It is the most powerful pattern recognition tool that we have. If you, it is like how kids learn. Yeah? Let's say I remove everything here. Let's say I'm a guy who is into trading. I started today. Okay. Now, if I look at this chart, it let's say okay. If I look at this chart, I it is only some up and down red green candles. I do not know anything about it. But over time, I build some level of knowledge, and without me drawing anything, I can say that there are some areas which are offering are good demand zones, and some of them which are good supply zones. For example, this area is a good area to go long, right? And probably this is an area which will give good level of resistance maybe, and any short I can go short. So this is my brain learning about looking at patterns. Yeah. So law of nature also applies here. There are patterns which repeat, there are patterns which don't, and our brain learns them over time. And it is very important that we let our brain learn rather than relying on some tools. Then technical analysis should only be used to confirm our bias. It doesn't give a bias of its own. Just because I have a moving average which is going up, it doesn't mean that the price will go up. It is to confirm a bias that, okay, if my moving average, let's take a simple moving average of, I don't know, maybe 20, some 20. Okay, so if the moving average is going up, then price is going up. If it is going down, going down. But there is no rule that the price has to go down when moving average is going down. That is to form a bias. And then there are infinite combinations to indicators. You can, now I have put 20, but I can as well put 21. And I can even put 1000, 2000. Yeah, I can even do this. So that's the reason there are infinite indicators and indicator combinations. But if you are starting off, stick to the default. Why? Because there is good market reaction with default settings and with known numbers, famous numbers like Fibonacci or round numbers and so on. Does the market have some power to do something at these numbers? That is not the case. It is participants, people who are reacting when that number is seen on the screen. When Nifty is at 17,000, there would be a reaction. But when Nifty is at 17,223, the reaction would be different. So by market is it knows everything. It is you know it absorbs everything. So it is not that it is reacting on its own. It is people who are reacting. So same case, when I draw this and say, okay, this is a good support area, what happens? Traders, they would have drawn similar line and they said, okay, this is my previous range. Now whenever it comes here, this is a good risk reward ratio, I will go long. And that's why this works. It is not market doing some magic and saying, okay, from here I'll reverse, right? So this gives me a good risk reward ratio. I can put a good stop here and then expect it to go up. So that is market participants behavior, which I see as candles. Then eventually we have to settle into these three types of trading mindsets. So you are analyzing market participant behavior. For example, auction theory you can consider, or you can consider Dow theory. So what are people doing? We can look at it. As I said, I am looking at it here that people will come in and buy at this point because this offers a place of value. I can say people will sell here because this is this has been a resistance over time, and most probably people will profit book. That is one view I can do. Or I can say market cycles. So markets repeat over time. If I believe in that concept, then I can say I believe in cycles. So let's say I believe in cycles. So market goes like this and then like this, and you know, then I say okay, it is at the top of the cycle. Now it is bottom. I'll go long. This is one type of. There are tools you can use, which for people who are into market cycles, time cycles, there are tools you can utilize them if you believe in cycles. And then the third is market volatility regime. So this is usually which goes hand in hand with other types. So volatility in the market is not constant. Market is like a river, free flowing river. Sometimes the river is silent, sometimes it will get agitated. There will be you know, quite a lot of agitation in the water and so on. It is like that. Market is also like if a river. Volatility is never going to remain consistent. The characteristic of today's volatility is not a surety that it will be like this after 1 year. Volatility is something which changes. If you are able to understand volatility regimes, we are in a high vol environment, we are in a low vol environment. That adds an edge because you will adapt to strategies uh, which are catering to that kind of a volatility regime. If you are in a ranging market, let's take a case of Nifty itself. Uh, say, okay, now we are in a very high wall, but if I go sometime back before Corona crisis, so if you see the range here, right? So if you see the range, the high point was round about 12.3 and the low point was 11.8, and this stayed in this range for how long? And what are we seeing nowadays? The range at which it goes every day, right? So volatility regimes change over time, and if you build systems around it, you probably can apply a better strategy. Okay, then market is, I like to compare this to an ocean. There are a whole lot of players. You have scalpers who are at the bottom, you know, they will trade for 5 minutes, sorry, even 1 minute trades. They'll use 1 minute chart. Then there are people who go for short time intervals, 5 minute chart, 10 minute, 15 minute charts. Then there are positional players. Then there are big players who will work in trends. Let's say, imagine that I am trading in a stock, I don't know, maybe let's take a case of Axis Bank. Okay. My goal is to make five, 3 points in Axis Bank. I can go for a 5 minute chart and say, okay, now I will apply all technical analysis I know. Okay, it gave a good breakout. It is about 20-day moving average. All that concept I'll apply and I will go long here. Let's assume. And that you have made this money. How many points? 796 to 813. So you have made a good 50, 18 points, 17 points, right? Now, if you look at big players, you have made 18 points. The same concept you apply here. From a big player perspective, there is a breakout over 20-day moving average. So 431, a small minor retracement and then back again 700. So this is what big players do. These are whales, right? So you can trade at 15-minute, 5 minute chart. You can trade on the weekly chart. You can trade on the daily chart. There are option players. There are futures. Market is like an ecosystem. There is again not one type which suits everybody. You can be a scalper, you can be an option seller, you can be a futures trader, you can be intraday. Yeah, so be aware of the players. Not everybody are after the same result. Some people want 2 points, some people want 2000 points. Everybody exists in the same market, and it is very important to know this. Because one player is absent, the whole market will not be able to sustain. That's the reason You need all types of players, efficient market. Okay. And another aspect of indicators, as the word says, indicators, they only indicate. They do not predict. I cannot for sure predict with what all indicators I have. I could never do it. If some people do it, maybe that's their sixth sense, but indicators do not predict. And there is no holy grail strategy or indicator which you will find. No matter how much time you spend, there will not be a holy grail which will work in all markets all the time. The holy grail is you, nobody else. That is the realization which I had after many years. The holy grail is us, it is not the indicator. Okay, all indicators show price, volume, and price in different perspective. So it is a mix and match of price volume, and it helps you see market in a different perspective. It is again, you can choose to use volume. You can say, okay, I won't use volume at all. It is your choice. But indicators slightly alter it with some mathematical calculations and shows it to you in a different view. That's it. And then for people who are pure price action players, for them it is very easy probably to make sense. Like, without even drawing anything, I can say this is a good support, and then I'll go long. But people, most of them, they would want some kind of assurance, some kind of confirmation, and for them they use indicators. Okay, for example, here you see range breakout with good volume follow up, maybe go long. Okay, then there is no guarantee that the strategies that make money now will make money forever. This is for sure a fact. No matter how much time you spend to make a strategy, it will not work forever. Why? As I said, volatility regime changes, price characteristics change, price patterns change. Uh, Pattern which is working today may not work after 1 year. Right? If you see off late spinning top, which usually indicates a reversal, how many times did market then gap up? So you can't rely on one price pattern and say, okay, spinning top, I'm now going to go short. You cannot do that. Then win rate over long periods of time evens out to 50-50 most of the time. For most of the strategies, this is what will happen. In fact, many will underperform for a long period of time. After we have lost money, probably they'll come back to 50-50. But most of the time, most strategies, concepts will even out to 50-50. Why? Because price action is random. For a short period of time, uh, all people will align. Say you during panic or greed situation, all of them will align. Like what happened in during the Corona crash. Everybody were in a panic situation. They wanted to protect whatever they have made, right? So this is not Brownian motion, of course. This is market participants' fear, and then market crashed. But then how it came back or what it is doing now, this is primarily greed, but nevertheless, you could not have predicted looking at past models that for sure it will do this. Many big players, they couldn't enter the market, right? They were saying there will be a retracement, but that never came. So you cannot achieve a better performance over long period of times because of inherent Brownian motion of price. Price is random. Okay, good. So what we will do is to just go into designing a strategy. I will take a short break, come back at 12:05, and then we will continue. If you have some questions, please put it into the chat. So now we will get into, you can hear me, right? Okay, sure. Okay. So now uh, let's go through some components of trading strategy. Um, what we should all look for when we are making a trading strategy are three aspects. Now, I'm not bringing in any data related to OI and all that. This is basic session. We will add all that onto already what we know later. So what we should look for is momentum, trend, and volatility. If you have to remember it for short, you can say MTV. Everybody knows it, so you can remember. What is momentum? What is trend and volatility? And why do they go hand in hand? Uh, for any, let's say if I take a chart which looks like, okay, let's just go with this. Now, why do I need trend? Why do I need momentum? And why do I need volatility? Right. So this is, let's say, my context now. Okay. So I would need some ways to find out what is the current trend at any point of time when I look at it. Let's say we are currently here, okay, and we want to understand whether I'm in a uptrend or I'm in a downtrend. I'm just placed here. I'm a one-dimensional organism. I do not know two-dimensional. Sorry, I do not know anything about what happened in the past and in the future. What do I make out of it? Do I go short? Do I go long? Do I just look at this candle and say, okay, let me go long, short? Right. For this, I need some information about trend. So indicators which tell me about trend help me in finding out what happened in the past, where were we, and where we are today. So probably, a moving average which would do this, help me in finding out what is the trend. Okay, I'm in an uptrend and I shouldn't go short. Maybe that is common sense. Then momentum. Momentum is important because that's when you make money. If there is no momentum in a stock, you won't make money. It will just go sideways, whipsaw, and you will lose money at the end of the day. Let's take a case this. Yeah, you let's say you go long here. You go long here, and then it goes up, then gaps down, goes up. Will you make money here? This is no momentum. You would need to make some assumption of momentum and then come back and apply that assumption over trend. And then volatility. As uh, as option players for us, uh, we are all now we all understand the importance of volatility. Basically, from theta, we have all moved to understand what vega is and so on. So hopefully, with that concept in mind, again, if there is no volatility, there is no money to be made. You need volatility to make money. Extreme volatile environments are difficult, but for seasoned traders, it is the most effective environment to make money. So, how can you, what indicators can you use to do this? So, there are three types, MTV, as I said, and then chart studies. The goal is not to use the same indicator more than once in one category. Yeah, so let's say I went into the previous example, I went into chart study and I took oscillators. If you see, it is using CCI, RSI, stock, RSI. So, RSI, CCI, stochastics, they all fall under momentum. They are telling me about momentum and nothing else in cycles. So, if you are loading your chart with RSI, CCI, MACD, or maybe not MACD, maybe with Williams R, you are getting the same information in different ways. That's it. There is nothing new you are learning out of it. Then, if you, but let's say you choose RSI. I will just choose RSI out of this. I'll remove everything. And now I would want to go for a trend trend indicator, which is in my case a moving average. So I can add this. and then I will be, let's say my favorite is 13-day moving average. Now I know based on the price performance with the moving average whether we are in an uptrend or in a downtrend or we are in a sideways. Okay. Then I can use ADX also to see whether we are consolidating or we are trending. So ADX gives me that I think it may be okay. So ADX tells me this is a trending move and then consolidation has started trending and then trending and so on. So these are now two different things. So it is oversold trending and then now with good confidence I can go long here because it has come out of oversold and then it is now beginning to consolidate, so I can say okay, I'll go long. So and then volatility, so Bollinger Bands or Keltner channels, standard deviation channels, envelopes, these all tell you about volatility in particular. You would want to be on the you want to be uh, on the trigger, and when volatility starts to expand you would want to go into the trade in the direction of the trade. Let's say I take Bollinger Bands and I take any stock which probably, let's say TCS. This gives good volatility contraction patterns, that's why I'm taking it. You see here, this is a classic example of volatility dying. It is contracting here, and if you now say, okay, I will enter here short and I will make money, you won't make money because volatility has contracted. What you should do here, wait for the volatility to expand and then go either long or short or whatever trading system tells you, do that. But consider volatility into the case. So here you see volatility is increasing when the tube expands, it is volatility which is increasing, and here it is contracting. So always add volatility into the picture. As we are option traders, it's very important. Then chart studies, we went through some of them. I will not go into detail looking at time. But everybody have their own preferences. Some people work on divergences also. So some of the famous Twitter guys, gurus, they will draw fancy things like this, lower low and then prices, and then they'll say now if this breakout happens, it will go up. Good for them, works for you, you can use it. Okay. And of all this, if you want to use one system which is able to do everything, you can use Ichimoku. This is this is again something which everybody after many years they come back to. They realize that one system does this and does pretty good job. That is the Ichimoku cloud. So cloud tells everything. If you don't get scared looking at the Ichimoku and have the patience to understand it, it tells you all information that you would want to know. It tells you breakout stocks, it tells you about ranging stocks, it tells you whether you should be in the long side, whether you should be in the short side. So, for example, ranging, right, breakout, then these are all long only, and so on. So, this is a inbuilt trading system in itself. If you want to reduce the time you spend to make a trading system, please go with Ichimoku if it fits into your trading mindset. Okay. Ichimoku is not uh, something which I will cover into depth here, but if you have some questions related to Ichimoku, you can approach me, or even Sanjit ji is quite uh, a big fan of Ichimoku. You can also ask in the group. I use Ichimoku in certain contexts. Okay. Okay. Then let's go to the prime topic. PineScript. I think most of you are interested in this. So what is PineScript? It is a programming language developed by TradingView for its platform, where you can write proprietary indicators and strategies and then add it to your chart, primarily to do technical analysis. There are two types of Pine script you can write. One is the study and one is the strategy. Study, you can basically start off with strategy to apply your hypothesis. And once you are comfortable with the study, you can convert it into strategy. You can also do vice versa, but that is a bigger path. Usually, starting with study is what is beneficial because you would need to find the edge. And then, once you're happy with the edge, apply it to a strategy and see whether that edge plays out. Okay, then execution of Pine script. So, how does Pine script execute? It basically, when you are writing a Pine script, it always starts from history. So let's say you have given a time frame for the script to execute. It starts from some time in the past and then calculates, and eventually uh, it will come to the latest candle or price. It doesn't go backward. So you cannot make it to calculate this first and then eventually this. You always go back and then come forward. That is how it is designed. Then all data is treated as series. So when you look at a script, I will open it shortly. You will see that the data which it has is all time series or a series in time. I.e., you have price minus 1, price minus 2, price minus 3, price minus 4, and so on till the oldest candle. Similarly, volume. Similarly, intermediate indicator data you calculated. Everything is treated as a series. And you can apply combinations of 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 this. Hello? S- Can you hear me now? Sorry, I got dropped off. Okay. So I think I was at studies and strategies. Right. Okay. So I'll just repeat. So study basically, if you want to apply your hypothesis, you have to start with study. Ichimoku. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll start from PineScript. Basically, PineScript is a language which is developed by TradingView and it is used to write proprietary indicators. Uh, right. And you can apply uh, indicators which are proprietary your own to the chart, and you can also apply strategies to your chart and you can perform technical analysis. There are two types. You can apply a study to a chart or you can apply a strategy to the chart. Studies can be converted into strategies later. So you would want to uh, evaluate your hypothesis, and then once your hypothesis is valid, you have an edge, you can convert it into a strategy. It saves you time. Vice versa also you can do, but it takes a longer time. Uh, Execution of Pine script is from the last variable. So uh, how the scripting engine calculates is, and this is again common sense. So basically it goes in the direction of price and time. It calculates what is the output of the indicator here and then eventually builds values and then it ends up here over time. It doesn't go back, so you cannot write an indicator which will take the current price and then do something in the past. It won't allow you to do that. You have to go in the forward direction only. Then all the data is treated as series. So price, volume is all treated as an array. You have price minus 1, price minus 2, price minus 3. So price minus 3 means price 3 days back. Price minus 2 means price 2 days back, and so on. So price minus 1 is previous day data. And you can do your calculations on that series. You can, it can be price, it can be volume, it can be price volume, it can be indicator data. It depends what you would want to use as a series. But underlying all the data is series, except variables. You want to multiply by 10. Then 10 is not a series, it is a value. You are multiplying price by 10. So all the price value will be multiplied by 10. Okay. So sample MACD implementation, I just have one script which I'll copy and then see what this script will do. Okay, so how can you write a Pine script? So here you see Pine editor, and here by default there is some untitled script. I will just replace with what I copied. Okay, now when I say add to chart, it will compile the it will compile and it will calculate and it will add to the chart. So currently it says some error. Let's see why. Okay. Okay. So this is a MACD. Most, I think everybody who comes into trading will know MACD on the first day itself. This is a, momentum indicator. This is a trend indicator, which basically is a value. It's very clever, very good indicator because it calculates two moving averages, fast and slow. So 12 period exponential moving average in this case, slow period exponential moving average, and then it subtracts the moving average, so it appears at a difference and then applies a filtering to that difference. So this way you are able to not only get the trend, but you are also able to get the momentum, right? Because you are subtracting, and then you are able to get the trend because you are applying a signaling concept. So this is a very simple indicator. You can now, the advantage what you have is you can change the values. You can apply your own concepts to it. For example, I will say I don't want to do fast minus slow for close. I want to subtract fast minus slow for high and close. Let's say some crazy attempt. Okay, so you can do this and you can add to the chart. So now it is calculating fast EMA for high and it is calculating slow EMA for for close. I can even say, okay, I don't want latest. Please calculate for price close, which is 3 days back, and give me the new MACD. So this is close taken 3 days back and then high. This is where the data window comes important. When you're writing scripts, it tells you what is the data. So if you see plot, so it is easier for me to debug and so on. Okay, so version 4 is the current version. You have to, if you are writing a blank indicator, it starts with 4, but you can also use an older version and convert. Okay, let's say I had written this in version 3, then it automatically gives me an option to convert to 4. I can retain it in 3, of course, but I, it is better to go to the latest version because it brings in some upgrades to scripting engine also, uh, trading engine also. So it makes sense to be on the latest version. Usually there is compatibility. Okay, so this is the first script, very basic. You can play around with with scripts. So one option what you have is, let's say you are also you also like RSI. You can say blank indicator and write your own RSI. Let's say I say my RSI is equal to RSI of close with a length of 14. So this will now plot RSI for me. Sorry. As simple as that. Or I can use a existing built-in script. So for most of the scripts which are available in TradingView built-in, you also have the source code. It's not just they are expecting us to contribute open source, they also have a open source uh, mindset. So I can take any indicator and I can build on top of it. Let's say Bollinger Bands. Now have the source code for it and I can modify it to whatever I think I should do. Let's say I say standard deviation, I would want to multiply this standard deviation by 2. I can do this and now I can apply it to the chart. I can do many things. But when you are learning, you can look at built-in scripts, see which one you want to look at, and then um, base it as a uh, starting point and then build. Similarly, MACD example which I took, right? So let's say I want to start off with I don't know, I want to write hull moving average. So this is the concept, this is the hull moving average code. And now I can analyze and say, okay, what happens if I replace WMA with, I don't know, RMA or EMA? Such kind of analysis you can do, and you can come out with your own hypothesis. Okay, so we did this implementation. Now just to go to multi-time frame. Okay, why multi-time frame? Primarily, the market uh, has an established trend only sometime. Most of the time it is ranging, all markets irrespective. Some of them follow demand supply in a better fashion, market cyclicals and so on. Some don't. So stocks futures are different. But overall, you will make money when you're trading in the direction of the trend. If you're trading in the um, if you're not aligning or trading to the direction of the trend, uh, then um, the probability of making money is low. Why? Because most of the price action in an established trend are retracements and then continuation. So you'll see a retracement pattern, like for example, you will see, let's say this is my trend, so you will see price retrace and then go up, retrace, go up. Yeah. So this is what it will do. If you want to short here, you are going against the longer term trend. So multi-time frame lets you trade in the direction of the trend. Higher time frame for trend direction confirmation, yeah. So this is where you use. It is not ideal to catch trend reversals because they are lagging. Uh, it is the way it is if a trend reversal has to happen, it will start off in the shortest time frame, 1 minute chart or even less. It will happen there and then it will go up. So you will see selling will happen first visible in the 1 minute chart, 5, 15, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, then 1 day, and then eventually in weekly. The for that reason, if your intention is to catch trend reversal exactly when it happens, you cannot do that on the multi time frame, on the higher time frame. You have to go for a shorter time frame, which is also possible. So multi time frame just doesn't mean that you are only looking at the higher time frame. You can also look at lower, you can also look at higher. Just that don't look at one time frame only. Market is not something which operates in one time frame. It is continuous in nature, right from seconds all the way to months, years. It is continuous data. So please align to the time frame which you have a preference and trade only in that direction. Then rule of thumb factor of 5. So when you are in a daily time frame, it makes sense to look at the weekly. So let's say this is my Tata consultancy chart. I would first look at the weekly. So if you look at it, it doesn't make sense to short Tata TCS at all because it is in a confirmed uptrend. Now, if I come to the daily time frame, you will see a different view. So there are periods of consolidation and so on. So if this was your primary chart, you would have missed the whole background that TCS is in a uptrend, and you would start drawing some trend lines. Okay, this is my area where there can be good resistance, and then let me short. Probably, but the moment I look at the higher time frame, I see that those are all retracement patterns, and it will go up. So that is how you can use multi-time frame. Hourly, then daily. So if you're in a 1 hour time frame, please align to the daily. If you're 15-minute hour, align to the hourly and also to the daily and so on. So rule of thumb 5. Same with indicators. If I have a 13 period EMA on the chart, right? So this is on the weekly chart. If I uh, if I say okay, 13 period EMA looks like this, so I will just try to retrace and show you what I mean, right? So this is how it is, right? Now if I go to the daily time frame, and if I now 13.5, I do it 65, then you will see more or less that the indicator now is on the higher time frame. Not exactly, because the price calculation in the EMA will change, but rule of thumb of 5 applies, at least daily to weekly, and that is what you should also consider in your multi-time frame. Okay, what does this mean? This is your personality. You can be a Formula One driver or you can be a captain of a ship. It is up to you. Can you imagine a captain of a ship come back and drive a Ferrari or a Formula One car? It is not possible. And it won't work also. And vice versa also won't work. This guy will be bored. By the time the ship turns, he would have finished the race. So you have to combine um, your analysis to your mindset and to the type of time frames you would want to trade. Let's say you would want to trade on a higher time frame, then probably these two make sense, right? You can be you can drive a big vehicle and you will feel comfortable looking at the bigger picture, or you drive a car and it can be this. But if you have to link this and this is not something which anybody should do. Probably these two make sense, right? So the intention to show here is um, align towards your comfortable time frame. What type of a trader are you? As we have learned that in the psychology session, the first is to understand ourselves and then do trading. It's very important. I hope the message has gone through. It is just to, it is not, as I said, there is no right, there is no wrong. A ship driver can also drive a Formula One car and vice versa. But does it make sense that you are a Formula One driver and you are referring to this? This is something which usually won't work, right? So that is the intention. Okay, then half an hour left. Let's come to one live example. I will take one indicator RSI and I will try to add some features to it to make it more intuitive, to keep you on the right side of the trade. Let's say it hasn't got, as I said, no prediction. It is only indicating. What will we achieve will look like this. Okay. What are the components I have here in this is one moving average. It is a 13 day, so the time frame is 15-minute chart. Chart type is Heikinashi. There is a moving average, 13-day moving average with 60-day multi-time frame. Then there is a RSI with some levels. And then, of course, there are fractals. Fractals, um this is another concept in nature. So basically, how markets, of course, we said that it is Brownian motion. Same is the case of water flowing in a river, pure Brownian motion, but it works in fractals. So a fractal is, let's say you have a price, and if it makes a local high, then you have a fractal. This local high can be made with two neighboring lows, or it can be four lows, it can be five lows. It's up to you. But a local high, that's a fractal for me. How do I use it? I'll I'll show you. It's basically to see where I can place a comfortable stop. I don't use it for anything else, but more of a visual guide. And if you have quite a lot of up fractals, it means the price is in a good healthy trend. If you see quite a lot of up down fractals, price is ranging. Less number of fractals in one direction, price is trending, right? So that is how you can, just by looking at the chart, you can make out. That's how I use fractals. Okay, so let's go for this example. I made something already. I'll add it, not to waste everybody's time. I made something. I hope I have saved it. Okay, okay. So, oh yeah, this is my indicator. I have commented out everything. So here, if you see, shall I zoom in? Okay, just to show you, I will again zoom out, just to show. So this is a study, and then I am taking the price as closing price. I am giving the length, the RSI length is 14. I want to smooth the price to some value, and I want to apply signal line so that I can maybe consider crossover and so on. Just just my thought process. So this indicator by default will not compile. There is a compilation issue currently. It's saying that you should plot something. Your indicator should show something. So what I do is I will enable. So let's say now let's calculate RSI and let's just plot RSI as it is. So yeah, I'll say add to chart. Okay, so it will combine. Okay, what's error? Okay, okay. So now you see that it will get added to the chart. Okay, so this is my plain RSI. I see one question from Vinodji that can you add overlay to the chart? Yes. So here you can use a additional attribute in study. You can say overlay true, and then it will now overlay onto the price. So you can use it for some type of indicators. You can not see, you see now it is overlay, but doesn't make sense for RSI because it is not it is a derivative of price. It is not a moving average. So I will remove this overlay or I'll say false. Okay. Now what did we achieve? We had RSI only. Now let us um add some additional features to it. What do I want to do? I want to add a smoothing option. So if you look at RSI, it looks like this without any smoothing. I want to smooth it a bit. So I will apply a smoothing concept. So this is my smoothing price. And then I will now pass smooth to it. Okay. So if you see now, yeah, it has gone through some smoothing. Smoothing comes at a cost. For people who are from engineering background will know this. There is no free lunch. Smoothing will cost you time, right? So I'm okay for this example to lose some information and get a delay outcome, but I want to get a good visual outcome. Then what shall we do? Let's add a signal line to it. This I will do by plotting an EMA of RSI with a smoothing length of 5, right? So 5 here. So if I enable this now, then I will get a follow EMA. So this is my signal line now. And because I have given this as configurable parameters, I can change them. So I can as well say signal line is 10. Okay, and smoothing, I can say, okay, smoothing is 6 or 7 or 8. Okay, so I can even do that by giving input. Then let us now apply, let us apply levels. Crossovers I couldn't do, I can do it, but let's do this. Add levels, right? So RSI without levels is not of much use. Okay, value probably you can say it is highly oversold or oversold and so on. But I'm a visual guy and I want to see levels. So I will enable some levels now. Okay, so these are my levels. Now I have some levels built into RSI. Basically a dead band between 45 and 55, and then some oversold, extreme oversold levels, overbought, extreme overbought levels. Different levels have added. Now, if you see, some kind of a trading strategy is beginning to emerge. It is still not in place. If I give this to somebody, maybe they'll lose money. I want to build some more info. So what I'll do is next I will add some kind of a logic which is visual in nature. I will say I will apply a censoring concept saying that whenever I see a bar color which is in shades of green, I will green, olive, lime, whatever, different variants of green, I will not short. When it is black, I will stay on the sidelines, and when it is um, orange or red, I will enter short. I will use yellow and lime as a sign of reversal, okay, to prepare for the trade. This is my visual representation. So now if I say yes, save, this will now your chart, the colors will change. I have applied a background bar color to it. Now you see there is some kind of a trading strategy which has come. What are the rules? I say when it is, you can take any time. Let's say, I don't know. Let us take this here. So uh, it says if it is green, then I shouldn't short. If it is lime color, then I should look for some kind of a consolidation or a change in trend, right? So here, what it means is if I have already been in a long trade, I should start to think about booking profits. When it is when black, I should look to close the trade if possible and be on the sidelines and look for a signal. When it is yellow, I should think about shorting it. Not short, but think about short. So from black to yellow, I'm thinking of shorting. Then when it changes to orange, short signal. And then once again, when it is turning yellow, I will exit short and I'll stay on the sideline. Black, no trade, prepare for a trade, then trade, and then, yeah. So if you see, uh, it gives you, you can make some rules for people who are visual. It gives you some kind of rules. And of course, what it does good is it prevents you from trading in the wrong direction. Let's say here, when it says yellow, you will not go long at least. You will be on either thinking of short trade or be on the sidelines. The moment it shows green, you will only go long. Yeah. So now here there is no short signal at all for you to short, right? So yeah, this is how does this calculate? This is based on some levels. So if you look at the Strategy, I'm saying above RSI 55, it is time to start thinking about long trade. Above 65, go long. Above 70, extreme overbought. So, yeah, you can look to pyramid. If it is in between 45, 55, then it is a ranging market. If it is below 45, look to short, short, pyramid. Simple rules, visually represented. Can you make money out of it? Probably, if you are training your mind, you can. This is where I apply some kind of risk management things and so on. So what I would do is not just rely on what the indicator is telling. I will say I'll of what we have learned, right? So I'll say I'll apply those concepts here. I'll say, okay, I want to go long. This looks like a good long area. I will go long here. What is my stop loss? Recent low here, and then I need to target 1 is to 2. Okay, so this is my long trade. I can stick in this trade till when? Till here, till this is closed. So this is my trade. This is what transpired. So I gave back some profits, but this is what happened in the trade. So this lets me build a trade, and this is where fractals come in. So by fractal, I can rely on fractal to be the closest stop I can take. So if you see here, okay, so when I want to take a long trade, this fractal is my stop loss, and then I can go for the long trade. Similarly, if I want to go for a short trade, uh, somewhere here, right? So I can say short, and then start to enter into short here, and then my short is the recent fractal high, and 1 is to 2 ratio is somewhere around here. Okay, so this is how I build my trade. Yeah, so this is a let's say trading system in itself. I have talked about multi-time frame. So let's say 13 moving average on a daily time chart doesn't tell you much. Uh, it is it is very close to the price, but I want to see what is it that price is doing in the higher time frame, right? So for that, what I can do is I can go to the indicator and I can say indicator time frame. You can go to the higher time frame, as we said, rule of thumb. Then you say indicator, so a higher time frame 1 hour, and then when you say okay, so this is now EMA 13 EMA on the higher time frame. This will now look intuitive. This will give you a better support, this will give you a better resistance, and you can trade with a better bias. You can go for a higher time frame also. As we said, there is no hard and fast rule. I can say show me 13 EMA on a daily time frame. I can look to, okay, this is area of support and I can go long. Area of support, I can go long. Okay. So it is this is how you start to go in the direction of building a trading system. My suggestion is build it on your own. Don't go for something which is because when you're building it, you're also building your personality. Shubhamji, pivots are not similar to fractals. Fractal is basically, as I said, it is, one fractal, up fractal, has to form when there is the highest point followed by two lowest points, three lowest points, four lowest points, whatever. So this is my fractal. The higher the shoulder, the lesser the fractals. Say there can't be one. One won't work, right? You need two shoulders. So you can say 2, then fractals increase. I can say 10 also, and these are long-term fractals. So 10 lower, only then one local high is shown as a fractal. Up to you. It is, don't start to think that, oh, now I can do swing trading. I have found high low. No, this is all repainting. If a low is formed, then this fractal will release and a low and a new fractal will form here. So it is based on historic data because it needs both the shoulders to form. So not only right side, left side, but also right side, and only then the fractal is printed. So yeah, keep you have to keep that also in mind. Okay, so yeah, so this is my indicator which has come at the end. It won't be there in any of your broker platforms. But by using scripting, you can build it to this level. You can now use your imagination. You can apply many different types. You can mix and match and so on. But this is something which is very basic and it works. It keeps you on the right side of the trade at least. If not lose making money, big money, at least it doesn't make you lose money. It brings you out of the wrong trade immediately and lets you wait for the right setup. Okay. Okay. So it will work with any, it is not limited. It will work with anything. Even with Bitcoin also it will work. Everything it will work. But as I said, I will go to strategy quickly. But as I said, there is no one indicator which works for all markets. Currently, it is all whipsaw for Bitcoin also. So probably you need to choose a different type. Okay, now I think I'll move the strategy part to the next session. But I would like to show you one, yeah, how to extend the inbuilt indicators. So Ichimoku, as we discussed, we that is the most comprehensive indicator which we have. I want to have some multi-dimensional, multi-time frame capabilities to it. So I say new built-in indicator and I'll say Ichimoku. Yeah, where is Ichimoku cloud? Okay, then and now I apply it to the chart. Right. So this is Ichimoku applied to Bitcoin. I'll move it to Nifty on a 15-minute time frame. Okay. Now I want to see what is the Ichimoku chart on the higher time frame. Let's say on the daily time frame. By default, it doesn't seem to be giving me that option. You see here, it is not giving me that time indicator time frame like it did for EMA. It is not giving me that. So what I can do is I can make a copy of this Ichimoku and I can build my own, save it as my own indicator. So I've done that. So this is my own indicator Ichimoku. I've just added a resolution parameter. Now if I apply this to the chart, right? So now it will show me indicator time frame also and I will say 1 day. Okay, so this is my indicator over 1 day and now I can do multi-time frame analysis of Ichimoku also. I will remove baseline conversion line. Okay, lagging also I'll remove. Yeah, so this is the coloring is not there in higher time frame, but you see this is my cloud. It is all on daily time frame. This cloud is here. It is all giving me, you know, only long. It is not. So price above Ichimoku cloud is usually long. So it is saying long on the daily time frame. Let's validate it on the daily. So you see here. So on the daily, it is saying only long trades. So this is what is multi-dimensional. You can apply it to, so I've just added one line and then I've made it multi time frame. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can extend indicators and improve their features and so on. You can play around and explore. Okay, then I will cover the strategies in the next session. I made it, but I think we won't have time. I will anyway follow up with a session, session 2 with some other concepts based on what we learned today. I will build on other topics also. So strategy, let's see if we can cover it in the next session. One thing which I missed informing was that you can also make some assumptions of earnings in the chart itself. So let's say, again, I go back to Axis Bank. So I'll remove all indicators for now. So there is earning information also in the chart. Uh, an earning symbol with down arrow like this means that the earning was negative, and if it is with a up arrow, it means that earnings was positive. And it will also plot upcoming earnings, and it will be a square with some estimate and date of earning and so on. If there is a dividend paid out by the stock, I think this doesn't pay a good dividend. Let's say Coal India. So it also tells you dividend, how much was paid and at what time. So this is also one good uh, way of seeing when the upcoming earning trade is visually. And you can see over history whether earnings have been positive. Ignore the price action. You can say for a moment whether earnings have been positive or negative, and you can see what the price did when there was negative earnings, what the price did when there was positive earnings. It is not a surety that only in negative earnings price will go down. Even for positive earnings also price can go lower, like you see here. Yeah, so it lets you build your hypothesis. Okay, I think I have covered most of what I wanted to speak. Strategies, we will cover it in session 2, followed by some other concepts also. Um, yeah, if there are questions, we can probably discuss it. So I'll stop the recording.